I know I'm not saying anything revolutionary when I tell you that the original Final Fantasy VII is considered one of the best games ever made. I've played through it twice now, and it's absolutely amazing how its gameplay, narrative, and themes still hold up to this day. Not only does it withstand the test of time astonishingly well, but it still boasts one of the most creatively rich settings and lovable, unique cast of characters that you can find in any JRPG to date. So, obviously, when a remake was announced, while there was definitely a lot of hype,
Is this a fucking
there was also a lot of concern, and rightfully so. We all know by now that sometimes when a timeless classic is remade, it can not only fall short of its predecessor, but it can also damage its legacy. The team remaking it can fail to capture exactly what made the original so special, and then we end up with this. But something that I never see anybody talking about is that remakes can be awesome. On the very, very rare occasion that they're done right, they can help you relive the magic of the original all over again, but with obvious technical improvements. But the question remains, did the Final Fantasy VII Remake manage to capture the spirit of the original? And on top of that, is it even a good game? Well, here's my take on it. So something I need to get into right off the bat is this game's pacing, which I feel leaves a lot to be desired. As most people will know by now, the game only covers the first part of the first disc of Final Fantasy VII, but that didn't stop the developers from stretching it out into a 40-hour game, and sadly in some areas this stretch is painstakingly obvious. A great example of this is the trip from 7th Heaven to the second Mako reactor. In the base game, this journey took around 20 minutes, that is if you took your time and allowed for several lunch breaks. In the remake, to get this journey done in 20 minutes, you would need to change the game's protagonist from Cloud to Barry Allen.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
Where in the original, you have a simple and direct route, here you have an incredibly lengthy journey across very uninspired level design. The game is filled with sections just like this, where you get to relive the events of the original, but at a much slower pace. It's less creative, more boring, and just out and out less fun. It's kind of like watching your favorite movie, but at 0.5 speed. However, I should mention that these stretched moments are definitely softened by both the combat system and the game's beautiful soundtrack. While you're slogging your way through Midgar, it really helps that every now and then you have to stop and beat the ever-loving shit out of a bunch of underpaid employees, all while the soundtrack has you going like this. The combat in this game makes it worth playing alone. Every impact just feels so satisfying, and almost every fight I found myself pulling off the types of combos that you'd expect to see in a really good action film. Each character has their own unique fighting style, which not only serves to fit their different personalities, but also gives you a lot of options on how to approach every encounter. But you have to remember, a lot of people aren't playing this game for the combat. They're playing it to see if it lets them re-experience the magic of the first game. So, does it deliver? Well, to answer this properly, I need to address the elephant in the room. They committed one of the deadliest sins a remake of a timeless classic can. They changed the story. And I don't think I'm alone when I say that I really did not want them to do that.
They better not change a single story element in this game. All I want is to relive the same experience I had in the original Midgar.
If this is not like a shot-for-shot, frame-by-frame
We just
remake,
want better graphics.
just give me better
Don't
graphics.
F with the story or the characters.
I'm not going to spoil what they changed, and I'm not going to say whether this new direction is good or bad. I personally didn't like it, but I have friends who are also fans of the original who really did like it. So you have to see for yourself whether or not it's for you. However, by changing the story, they've taken away a piece of the original Final Fantasy VII that you're not getting back. So even though a lot of this game is repeat missions of the original, Their stretched and sluggish nature, combined with the fact that they ultimately lead the story in a different direction entirely, kinda takes away the same atmosphere that was found in the original game. But that's not saying that the beauty of the original is lost entirely. That's not the case at all, actually. The vast majority of the characters in this game are perfect incarnations of how they were in the original Final Fantasy VII. They speak and act pretty much exactly how I imagined they would. Like, for example, when playing the original, I got the impression that Barrett must be really loud and annoying. And in the remake, Barrett was really loud and annoying.
The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me!
A barrier? Never seen this defense system before.
Thought you were the expert. Stamp scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy?
Characters like President Shinra, Tifa, Marlene, Red 13, Hojo, all of these characters were perfect incarnations of their original selves. And in the same light, the world of Midgar is also perfectly rendered. The scrap heap that you find yourself exploring in the original is reconstructed so well that you can practically smell the social inequality. Where the game fails to capture the magic of the original in its story, it captures it excellently in pretty much everything else. If all you want is to see and interact with realistic reincarnations of the characters and places of the original, then this game is perfect for you. So, is Final Fantasy VII Remake a good game? Pretty much, yeah. Does it manage to capture the spirit of the original? Pretty much, yeah. Like, it has its problems, definitely, but if you're patient and you're willing to stick out the rougher parts, then there's definitely a lot of fun to be had here. Overall, I give it a 7 out of 10.